Hey, what's up, guys? So, pretty exciting time. Tax money's coming back, and a lot of it. Brandon's riding a sissy bike. So yeah, guys, like I said, tax money's coming back, and it's like destiny was speaking to me, because I got a hell of a lot more tax money back than I thought I was. So I decided, you know what, maybe I'm not so much against buying a used bike, because the cons to not buying a used bike is the fact that I got financed the shit for 4 years after I pay for it. So that means that's 4 years to where something could fuck up, and then they could repo my bike, and that would suck ass. So instead, I'm going to still buy the same bike. I'll get to that in a second. And it's for $3,300. I look on Craigslist, and before anyone says it, yes, I know about how to avoid scams. And oh shit, look at that bird. And this guy has a 2006 DR 650 SE. It's the yellow colored one, so that's pretty badass. And what is it? Alright, no one's coming. It's the yellow colored one, and the best part is the guy's already modded it. And the cool thing is he's selling it for the Kelly Blue Book value, as if it was stock. I looked up the exact model and the miles that it has on it. It only has 18,000 miles, which is not that bad, not that lot. Not a lot at all. And he's got motard wheels already mounted on it. You know, pure 17-inch motard wheels. Not the Sportman setup. It's legit Supermoto setup. He's got a aftermarket seat, an aftermarket headlight. Not sure if it's an aftermarket exhaust. It doesn't look like it, but I don't know. It could be the Gixxer tailpipe. I'm not sure. What else did it have? Pretty much it had a good bit of mods on it. Like, looking at the list of mods he had on it and the list of ones I wanted for my bike, I think the only things I would have to end up modding is the exhaust and putting a big brake disc on the front. So that's pretty awesome. Nobody's at the food bank today, which means maybe I can get away with jumping around the parking lot. Although I don't want to go over here because there's probably nails and all kinds of shit over there. So yeah, guys. So I'm back in the market for a used Supermoto, which most people say it's usually the best way to get your first bike anyway. So I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm not necessarily going for a lowball, cheap-ass offer. You know, my last bike where I got ripped off, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about that now. That whole experience. I don't know where the fuck Brandon went. He must have went back to the house or something. But, you know, that whole experience, I'll go through that, since this somewhat talks about that, talks about that topic. But, anyway, you know, I was in college. I had no mode of transportation at the time, because this is before I had my driver's license for a car. So I decided, what the hell? Oh, I decided I want to get a bike. You know, my buddy he just got a Harley. We were real big into watching Sons of Anarchy. And so our whole idea was, you know, he got a bike and I was like, yeah, I'll get a bike. we'll ride together, man. It'd be awesome. So I got a little bit of money back from school because I had scholarships and stuff, and I got money back from that. So I took that extra money and I bought a Honda Magna. I think it was like $1,200. I think. Maybe it was a little more than that. I don't remember. It was either $1,200. It was like $2,000. I don't remember. But either way, is there a car coming? No, we're good. I bought it. It really wasn't that bad of a bike. I mean, yeah, it had an oil leak, but, you know, a lot of them old cruisers, I think it was like 89. So, you know, it had an oil leak. You know, it wasn't a shitty bike by any means, I guess. But, I mean, it definitely wasn't perfect. And I rode it for a while, and I had really no issues out of it. It was a pretty solid bike. Then, I think what happened to the tire might have happened while I was riding it. But I was riding, and the funny thing is, I wasn't riding at a high speed. I mean, I was probably doing like maybe 20-ish. They're doing some construction on a road. And they had a sign, right? Now, get this. This sign says uneven pavement. Or I might have said bump. And now you're thinking bump. That's like what? Maybe there's like a little 2 to 3 inch increase in the road surface height. This was like a fucking foot or two of increase, and I did not see it to the last minute. And like basically I'll recreate it how it was on my bike. You know, I'm just kind of cruising along like this, and I see it, and there was no avoiding it, and it was just like boom, like that basically. Even though I wasn't going that fast, that's how fucked up they had this road. You know, I hit it, I didn't lose control or nothing like that. I didn't like freak out, but you know, it was a pretty fucking bad bump. And I was just like, damn, dude, I hope that didn't fucking hurt anything. Because, you know, when I hit it, I felt the little bit of suspension cruisers have. I felt it compress and somewhat bottom out. And, you know, when we got to the school, I checked it. Didn't seem nothing wrong with it. Rode it for a couple days after that. Just still didn't really seem like it did anything. Well, about a week or two passes. And then I start to notice the front tire is dead flat. And I'm just like, okay, that's weird. Okay, so I look into it. I blow it up, and I'm like, okay, maybe it just kind of deflated. Sitting out here in the, elements. Maybe the weather acting all funny. Because, you know, here in South Carolina, the weather does tend to flip-flop a lot. It doesn't fucking seem to want to make up its mind. Like, perfect example is the other day. It's been about like 30 degrees most of the time throughout here. And the other day, it was like 50 or 60. Just all of a sudden, just one day, and now it's cold again. So, I don't know, you know, I wasn't that experienced as far as how motorcycles and shit work out, so I figured, oh, you know, maybe the fluctuation in temperature did it. Dude's got him a bonfire going. That's what's up, man. I need one of those. Although you're not supposed to be burning shit in the city. It's okay, we won't tell, dude. So, yeah, man. So I was like, well, that's weird, man. So I was like, okay. So I put air in it, thought it would be all good. Literally, like, the next day, I get back home from school. It held up while I was at school. I get home, it's fucking dead flat again. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to be riding this thing, because eventually it got worse. I decided, okay, maybe it's just a slow leak. It's not that bad if it's taking a whole 24 hours for it to run out. So eventually I got to the point to where you could put air in it, and literally like 2 to 3 hours later, it was like almost dead flat. Like, it would go flat as you were riding down the road. And I was just like, you know what, yeah, this is gonna work. So I stopped riding it. I took it to my grandpa's shed at his house, and we looked at the wheel, and we actually found, I think it was aluminum maybe, It was like chrome plate, not plated, but it was like chrome coated, like this little flaky fucking cheap shit. It was like an aluminum wheel, and it had actually cracked, like little hairline cracks where I guess the center piece of the rim comes together with the outer piece. But we sprayed it with some soapy water and shit, and you could just see bubbles all around the edge here. And I was just like, holy shit, okay. So, you know, at this point, I kind of skipped a part in the story. You know, here, as I'm sure most other places, to get your motorcycle license, you have to have a car license first. You know, so I already had my car license too. So the whole time my bike was down, I basically started driving my mom's Dodge Avenger that she never drove because she had a Durango. My dad's got the Cavalier, which you've probably seen them a couple times on the video. Just me passing them as I leave the yard. You know, they had their cars, and this other car was just sitting here. No one did anything with it. You know, my older brother, he doesn't have a license. It's kind of ridiculous. He still doesn't have a license now, and he's like 4 years older than me. But, you know, whatever. So, you know, I was the only other person in the house that had a license, and then we had this extra car that just was sitting, not doing a fucking thing. So basically, I started driving that more and more. I kind of really wasn't enjoying the whole owning the cruiser thing, you know. It wasn't really all what it was cracked up to be. My buddy that said we would ride, he fucking never came around. We never rode, not fucking once. And, you know, it was just kind of a letdown for me. Because, you know, I got this bike with certain expectations that it was going to bring, you know. You know, me and my buddy were going to ride a lot, and it was going to be cool, and we were going to have a fun time with it. That just never happened. And then at the same time, you know, these new problems had emerged. And then at the same time, you know, I had the convenience and the access to a car. So eventually, and you know, I'm real big into music, and at the time, I did not have a live gear setup, and I really wanted to start playing shows as a guitarist, because I used to be a bassist in a band before, and I had a pretty good, decent live setup for that. I have a really old PV TNT combo fucking amp. It was like a 115 combo amp, 150 watts, and that thing was so fucking loud, it would like vibrate across the floor. It was great. When you start practice, and then by the end of it, this amp is like 5 feet on the other side of the room. But anyway, I digress. I didn't have a half stack for my guitar rig, and I really wanted to start playing guitar in the music scene here. So I basically said, you know, I have a car, whatever. I'll just sell this fucking stupid Honda, fucking stupid cruiser. I don't want nothing to do with it anymore. You know, I was young and dumb. Looking back at it now, yeah, it was probably a dumb idea. Probably should have kept it, or if anything, I should have sold it. Saved up a little extra money and took the money I got from selling it, plus the money I'd saved up, and I should have just bought something else. But I didn't. I did the stupid thing. Maybe it was just kind of the selfish way I was raised, and my, you know, I guess my outlook on things at the time. Because I was pretty irresponsible at that age. You know, I was in college, still lived with my parents. My parents still funded most of the shit I did. You know, I wasn't as spoiled as my older brother, but, you know, I still had somewhat that spoiled mindset, which I'm kind of glad that happened to me, because on a somewhat related note, it teaches me not to do that with my kid at all. But I'm not going to get off on a tangent and talk about that. So anyway, you know, stupid me, young and stupid me, just sold the bike, bought a half stack, which I still own, by the way, and still running strong. So I mean, it's not a total loss that I sold the bike. I've got a pretty awesome fucking live rig now out of it. But anyway, I got the live rig, started playing shows, yada yada yada. And, you know, in a way it was I guess an equal trade-off, but, you know, responsibility wise, adult situation wise, I should have probably kept the transportation and waited on the other shit. But with all that came with it, I don't really regret it. like I said, I probably could have went about it in a smarter way. So that really explains why I'm not too keen on getting the cruiser, and why at first I was kind of really turned away from getting another pre-owned bike. But like I said, I got back like 3 times the amount I thought I would on my taxes, which was just insane. And basically I'm just waiting for that to come in now. And I mean, I've got my eyes dead set on this fucking Supermoto DR650. I mean, it's already fucking set up. It's clean. I mean, yeah, it's 9 years old. It's a 06. But, you know, I've researched the model enough. I know all the model specific questions to ask him about the neutral sending unit, as well as, I forget what it's called, but it's something, I don't remember what it's called. But I can point it out. I know what it is. Fucking eyes are burning from that smoke, man. What the fuck is that guy burning? Shit. Although I could feel the warmth from all the way over here, man. That was pretty crazy. Come on, car. Fucking drive by. Or, I guess they turn. Playing in the water. So yeah, guys, you know, hopefully that guy won't sell the bike. I haven't contacted him. You know, I thought about it, but as much as I want the bike, I see it this way. I'm not gonna hound the guy and like try to put myself in a situation where I'm gonna have to pay more money than I have to, because I can really use every little bit of money I can with the move coming up in 4 months. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to really contact him and try to like reserve it or anything. So basically I'm just going to wait for this money to come back. I'm going to just, you know, basically keep my fingers crossed. Just hope that bike's still there when the money gets back. But at the same time, I also want to hold off, because you never know. Something better could pop up. But the real stupid thing is a lot of the supermotos around here, the little few there is, I mean, there's a real few. I mean, we're talking like maybe 5. 2 of them are pretty good contenders. The only problem with one is I may be a little short for it. It's a XR 650L, you know, a Honda XR. Basically, I guess the Honda equivalent of a DR 650, I guess you could say. You know, they're kind of like the same concept. Big displacement, old bikes that haven't changed in fucking years. But the only problem is the DR has a 34-inch seat height. Not to mention, that's something I actually forgot to mention. This guy has lowered the seat height to the lowest setting. So, you know, that might be good for my short ass. But the XR stock seat height is, I think, 37. That's a pretty big stretch. I mean, my inseam is like a 32, 33, I want to say. So that means somehow I gotta magically grow like fucking 4 inches. Yeah, 4 inches. I had to make sure I didn't sound stupid for a second. Which, I don't know how that's gonna work out, man. But anyway, so hopefully the guy won't sell that DR, because, I mean, it looks fucking nice. It's clean. It's perfect, great fucking condition for an 06 just by looking at it. And, you know, when I go to see it, of course, I have all these important questions. I know all the questions to ask, all the model-specific shit to ask them about it. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be pretty fucking awesome. There's the piece of shit that ran over my sister's cat on purpose and acted like it was a fucking accident. Fucking douche. I hate that fucking guy. But anyway, that being said, hope you guys are looking forward to the new videos on the Motard. And I'll see you guys in the next one.